going on, everyone? So, we now have our next event that's going to crash the stock market and going to crash the crypto market, right? And this is exactly what happened with the previous war with Ukraine and with Russia. And then we also seen the same thing with the trade war. And then we've seen things going down because of the so called trade war. And now we're seeing the exact same thing happening all over again with a war going on with Israel and Iran. And then we also seen the Israel and Gaza war. So every single time we have something like this, we always end up seeing a crash in the markets. So every single time it happens, we see it. All this trade war just took us down. And then at the beginning of April, we started to go up, right? So all of this right here on Tesla is all of the trade war, all the way from there, all the way down here. And then we recover, right? And then you can see from here, we start to get Trump talking about some other stuff, like talking about, hey, I'm going to bring the trade war back up. And then you start to see things pull back again. And now you're seeing Israel and Iran. So that actually might cause the stocks to go lower. And this is Tesla that we're looking at. There's a possibility that we could see stocks getting lower and lower, and also crypto. So if you are in Tesla, one of the things that you could be looking at is a low of all the way down here at 215. If we are to have a major crash, like if it's like a trade war type of crash, right? Because the trade war was devastating, right? And that's what they want you to believe. And we also see Israel is now striking Iran. So this could be another thing that causes the markets to crash. And it's not just a conspiracy at this point. Like, it happened. We have the strikes going on with Israel bombing Iran. So Israel is going bomb happy. They're bombing Hamas, they're bombing Gaza, they're bombing the Middle East. They're bombing everybody who's inside Muslim in that area, right? That's what they're going with, right? They're just bombing people. All right. But what you're also seeing is the stock market pulling back. Now all of these stocks are pulling back because of it. Because remember, Boeing just now had a plane crash with the Indian plane. They crashed, landed inside India, I guess. They were taking off before they could even get up in the air. They crashed right back down. And then almost everyone, I think everyone actually died on there. But very sad. But yeah, we're also seeing a lot of different stuff happening in the markets. So the crypto market is more so closer to what's happening with, the war and everything. Because yeah, the stock market is reacting a little bit, but some of these stocks are just down for their own reasons. Like GameStop pumped way too much. It was all the way up like $39 or something. And then we seen like different companies like Boeing's going down because they just now had a plane go down. And then we're having other companies. We have quantum computing. They just now bought another company for, I think, $1 billion or something like that. And it's just pumped heavy, and now it's kind of pulling back. So there's reasons for all of these different companies to be pulling back, but there's really no reasons for the crypto market to be pulling back. And the only reason for the crypto market pulling back is this Israel striking Iran thing. So I think this is going to also start to trickle into the stock market, because we haven't really seen it yet, because now we went into after hours trading, so we really can't see the damage that has happened. And actually, I looked at the after hours price of Tesla, and after hours price of Tesla is pricing it in around about 308 to $304. So Tesla has already pulled back after hours massively. After hours is really around this line right here, this support. So that is a minor support for us, but still, it doesn't defeat the fact that we have pulled back a little bit here because of the war that's now going on with Israel and Iran. And this is only going to cause other wars. So I think this is going to be one of those things that causes the markets to pull back. Now, I still do think that Bitcoin is going to be resilient. I know I just made a Bitcoin video talking about how if we pull back to, let's say, 99K Bitcoin, we could have a nice recovery and possibly try to create new all-time highs. But let's say we just get screwed over by what's going on with this war. Obviously, like I mentioned before in my Bitcoin video, go ahead and watch that. And then we go down to 93K. And then from there, we can eventually, if we break 93K, 90 or 88K after that. And then from there, 73K. Because if you look at it, we really don't have that much strong supports after this level. Like when you look at 93K, after 93K, there's really no strong supports. And the reason why I say strong supports, because you can see we hit it multiple times here at 93K. So that was pretty strong for us, right? And then you can also see we've hit it before inside of these same areas. We've always hit 93K here. Like this is a very strong area for us. So if that's the strong area for us, what is after 93K? If we were to break 93K, where could we go after that? So that is the big question. Because if we break 93K, look down here. 88K is not that strong. We had some resistance here for 88K, but as you can see, 88K was never that strong of a support or resistance for us. So I think 88K could be a level that we stop at if we go down to 93K. I'm saying if. If we break 93K, 88K. If we break 88K, all hell's breaking loose and we're going down to 73K. So that is something that you need to pay attention to with Bitcoin. And the overall stock market right now is not inside of a good space. It's been really, really hard for it to hold these levels. And hey, this could be one of those areas where we're like, hey, it's a double top. And yeah, we already had a double top, but now we're gonna have like a triple top if we just break out or not break out, but if we crash land from here. So there's a lot of bad stuff that could be happening inside of the markets here. I do see here on the RSI, it looks like we're getting closer and closer to that oversold area or overbought area. So we have very little volume also. If you look at the MACD, there's very little volume. All it's going to take is one major sell to just ruin all this. And remember, all this stuff is happening. Like a lot of this is transpiring after hours. So tomorrow we could have a very bad day in the stock market and we actually might end up seeing the crash on the SPY as well as other stocks and inside of crypto. Crypto already kind of took that drop, but everyone's wondering like why didn't the stocks take that drop? Well, because we already closed. Like it closed at 4:30. So now we gotta wait until tomorrow, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Well, it closed at 4. But yeah, now we gotta wait till tomorrow, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time to see exactly what happens. So I think we might have a pullback inside the stocks tomorrow. So that's something that you definitely want to be watching out for. And again, whenever prices start to get really high, you end up seeing like all this stuff happen. Now Israel's all of a sudden striking Iran and they're bombing them. So yeah, we'll see what happens after this. But yeah, it says that the US has roughly 40,000 US troops across the Middle East right now. So maybe the US might just get tied into this. And if it's Israel bombing Iran, obviously we're already tied into it because the US backs Israel on almost everything. So this could get ugly for US stocks as well as crypto. So yeah, definitely watch out for this because it also says that this is not a one-day attack. That's what Israel's saying. They're saying that this is not a one-day attack. So what they're pretty much saying is they're planning on dragging the stock market down with them, right? They're gonna drag the stock market down. Oil prices have already went up. They're gonna do the most. Okay, so we might see some ugly pain inside the stock market, but that is good. That is a good thing when you see pain in the stock market because you know you can just wait. You can just sit out of the market for a little while, just wait a little while, and then as things pull back, you can buy the dip. But you have to buy at the right time. You have to buy at the right time. You can't buy too early into the dip. So last time with the trade war, you can see we went all the way down there. I don't think we'll go as low as with the trade war. It might end up going halfway down, like here with the SPY, possibly like 550, 560, if even that. And then you can see it like going back up. Obviously, it's not going to go straight up like that, but you know what I'm saying? So we can also see for Tesla, and this is something I like to track all the time, Tesla, because I think Tesla is one of the easier ones to trade actually, because it's just so volatile and sometimes it can be very predictable. But with Tesla, I'm hoping for Tesla to pull back a little bit more. And I'm already looking forward to opening some calls here with Tesla when it pulls back. So I'm already waiting. Possibly if we can pull back to like 295, maybe even a little bit lower, that'd be nice. But if this is going to be like a prolonged thing and Israel just keeps bombing Iran and then other people start getting bombed and other people get involved, then we could end up seeing Tesla going even lower, especially with the robo taxi event. The robo taxi event can be very, very a letting down experience. A lot of people are already saying like they don't really have much info on it. And honestly, I don't see the robo taxi event being as big as Tesla wants it to be because it's almost like people don't really want to see that type of stuff. Like I can see them releasing it inside of LA and then all the rioters destroying the cars or something happening inside of Austin, Texas. They put it out there, and then rioters just destroy the cars. So I don't see the robo taxi event doing too much for the price of Tesla. So I'm still feeling like it'll go down. So me personally, like I said, I'm waiting for it to go down. But it doesn't matter what I'm doing personally. What matters is what's going on in the news, and then you guys, you make up your mind of what you're going to be doing personally. But yeah, like I said, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. And yeah, right now, I think Tesla is in a good position for a pullback, but things could easily reverse because we see it time and time again where we have all this bad news going on, but then things reverse to the upside. And it's crazy how it happens, but it happens like that a lot. And also looking over here at the RSI here on Tesla, doesn't it look like it just wants to curve downwards and continue downwards? So there's a possibility that we can have some more selling. And that just presents new opportunities for the people that have calls open right now. I don't know why you would have calls open right now. There's just too much going on. I like to open up calls when it's almost obvious that we'll get some type of breakthrough. Like right here, like that would have been a good time for people to open some calls. I had a little bit, but I didn't make that much because I sold out way too early. Like I let it go down, sold out around here. But I could have had way more if I let it and then sold out up here. But you can never really get the best out of it. But right now, what I'm waiting for is for that pullback. So if we pull back to like 275, maybe $290, getting in on some calls there. But yeah, this is all I got for you all today. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Make your own decisions. Hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll see what else the governments decide to do to pump the markets now. Once they drop the markets, they'll find another way to pump the markets. So we'll have to wait and see what that new scheme is going to be. But anyways, hit the like button and subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, I'll be back with another video.